Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we're going to be talking about Punisher One Last Kill, and if it's good. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. Okay, so Marvel's Punisher One Last Kill recently dropped, and it's being met with a mixed reception. I wanted to like this special, I really did, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to place myself on the negative side when it comes to this thing. Now, the episode has some really cool stuff in it, tons of awesome action sequences with lots of blood and brutality, and we also get tons and tons of the classic random Jon Bernthal grunts and noises we've come to love. But the story around all this killing it's kind of terrible. After Daredevil Born Again Season 1, I was really excited to see Frank's story continued after he escaped from Fisk's prison. I was hoping for a story about him going after the anti-vigilante task force. I mean, they had commandeered his symbol and had been using it as a weapon against the innocent. Like, that would have been awesome. We instead got a rushed and lackluster story about Frank yet again finding even more people connected to his family's murders. Look, this has already been a plot point in every Punisher appearance ever. How many people can you add to this conspiracy plot before it becomes repetitive? Anyway, so Frank takes out numerous members of the Nucci crime family, and their mother decides to retaliate and place a bounty on Frank, forcing him to yet again become the Punisher. We've seen this plot point a million times. Anyway, this Nucci lady is not a very good actress. Like, no hate to the actress. I know she's doing her job, but I just don't think she's doing it very well. She's trying to act all angry and intimidating, but she just comes across as a big cornball, like, especially with lines like this. Like, what are we doing?
I'm the one who's doing the punishing now.
Now, even though some of the bad guys aren't doing a very good job, you know who is? Jon Bernthal. He yet again nails it as Frank Castle, and I commend this episode for trying to explore Frank's mental state a bit more, even if it falls flat. I loved the scene where he asks Karen if she's really there, and it just shows you how broken he really is. So anyway, the bounty hunters arrive at Frank's apartment complex, and for some reason, they decide to just start killing everyone. Like, I get it that the chaos looks cool and all, but they're here to do a job, right? Like, they don't really seem that motivated to earn the money if they're dicking around beating on old people instead of going after the bounty. Like, go after Frank, stop messing with all the residents. It just doesn't really make sense. Now, this is where we get into the action scenes. These are awesome. So many brutal takedowns and executions. I felt like I was watching John Wick Jr. The fight moves around the apartment complex until we reach the roof. There's some really cool choreography with all sorts of weapons like bats and knives and different kinds of guns, and it just keeps going, and it's so awesome until we reach this shot. When this happened, I had to pause and rewind to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. Okay, this CGI shot here was so awkward and completely took me out of the scene. This legit looks like a PS3 cutscene. There was no need for slow-mo here either. Like, you could have just shot Frank getting thrown off the roof and then cut to him getting out of the power box. Here, I fixed it. Now, after this completely stellar action sequence, Frank finally makes it to the ground and has to make a choice between going after Mrs. Nucci, who for some reason decided to stick around, or go save this one guy from the deli. I like how Frank makes the conscious choice to protect the innocent over pursuing revenge, and he's rewarded for his efforts with this interaction with a little girl who obviously reminds him of his daughter. I know she's a child actor and all, but I just thought it was funny how she was bawling her eyes out with her mom as Frank murders like 10 guys in front of her. But when she hands Frank this paper flower, she's fine. Like, she doesn't even look like she was crying at all. Small nitpick, I guess, but you know, whatever. So after all of this, Frank once again dons his black and white Punisher uniform, but this time he's sporting a beard and a sick fade. I think this look is so stupid and corny. I don't think Frank would ever have this haircut. It makes him look ridiculous, and I'm so glad that they're going with his normal look for the Spider-Man movie. Anyway, Frank stops this random thug from taking out an old lady, and he kills him in broad daylight. Is it just me who finds this weird that this whole thing took place during the day? Like, Punisher is a nighttime character. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like it would be incredibly difficult to just shoot people down in broad daylight. And also, during this whole thing, this whole special, there's chaos filling the streets, people are rioting, people are getting murdered and robbed left and right. Where are the police? Where is Daredevil? Where is Spider-Man? Why is nobody helping? Okay, little side tangent here, but I think it was such a dumb decision to have 90% of the Marvel Universe take place in New York, because when something huge happens and nobody shows up except for one character, it makes all the other ones look like bums. Like Spider-Man is a bum for not showing up here. Daredevil, a bum. You know, this is why DC just does it better, okay? They got Gotham, Metropolis, Star City, Keystone. Everyone's doing their own thing, and if Batman doesn't show up to everyone else's adventures, it's completely reasonable. This is just ridiculous, okay? Anyway, so he finally sports his classic Punisher uniform, and he kills this guy, and the credits roll. Yeah, that's it. You know, and that's what I thought. You know, I was like, wait, is that it? What about going after the Nucci lady? What happened to the bounty? We just saw him suit up again, and I was expecting some kind of final showdown, but it just ends. Like, this abrupt end really threw me off and just completely, totally tainted my experience. This felt like a pilot episode, which is great if there's 7 more episodes to watch. But there's not. This feels like half of a special presentation. This story should have had a satisfying conclusion, but it just doesn't. You know, like, this thing should have been an hour and a half, and that would have fixed a lot of the problems I have with it, okay? The story feels rushed. The action is great. Some of the acting is pretty good. But overall, like, it's just mid. And the Nucci crime family, like, who the hell cares, okay? I wanted to see Punisher go after the anti-vigilante task force or whatever. I do not care at all about the Nucci family or this one random Nucci lady. Like, who cares, okay? We did not want to see Frank fight some random crime family that happens to be connected to his family's murder. You know, we've seen that before. We wanted to see Frank take on Fisk's army and the vigilante task force. That would have been way cooler. You know, not everything has to be connected to his family. And that's why I feel like a lot of Punisher stories just aren't really interesting, because they always go back to that one plot point. It's boring and it's repetitive. Honestly, outside of this one origin story plot that should only be done once, the only way to make Frank Castle interesting is to throw other heroes into the mix and have them interact with him while he's doing his whole Punisher thing. You know, that's why he worked really well in Daredevil. That's why he's getting thrown into Spider-Man Brand New Day. But even then, it still gets boring and repetitive because it's the same thing every time. Here is how his interaction with Spider-Man is going to go in the movie. Frank is going to be killing someone because they just so happen to be related to his family's death, and Spider-Man hops in and he's like, hey, Frank, don't kill that guy.
Let me tell you something, Red. This guy killed my family, and I gotta punish him and stuff, and he's gotta go in the ground. It's gotta be finished.
And then it just plays out the exact same way every single time. This is exactly what happened to Daredevil. It's gonna happen in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I just want to see something new. You know, is that too much to ask? Anyway, overall, this special presentation had some really solid performances from Jon Bernthal, all of the stunt performers, and this episode had a ton of really good visceral action. But the story wasn't good enough to justify this episode's existence. So I'm going to give Punisher One Last Kill a 6 out of 10. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, and drop in the comments down below what you thought of Punisher One Last Kill. Let's talk about it. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.